Today we are here to recognize Ernie and Thelma Del Monte and an extraordinarily generous gift to the medical center, and to announce the creation of the Ernest J. Del Monte Neuromedicine Institute.
Neuromedicine at the University of Rochester is a great success story just waiting to take off.
My vision is to attract other benefactors to find a cure for all of these neurological diseases. Together we can improve the quality of life for our patients in this community and around the world.
The E.J. Del Monte Neuromedicine Institute is currently one of our largest and newest research programs, but over time it will become a legacy of great science and great translation into clinical medicine.
The translational part of the institute is extremely important because we have some of the best investigators in Rochester, which, if we facilitated the movement from the basic research to the clinic, would make Rochester the place to be.
You just take care of patients, it's not enough. If you just understand the biology, that's not enough either. You're not going to fix the problem with a piece. And we really have the chance to better coordinate that across all those pieces.
So the Institute can say, we want this to happen, we're going to put funds to make this happen, because we see that if this neurosurgeon talks to this neurologist, talks to this stem cell biologist, talks to this imaging scientist, a quantum jump is going to occur.
By having this serial processing that we can have in this kind of translational, multidisciplinary research environment is going to chop years off the time that it takes to develop drugs, and it's going to make it cheaper, I think, also.
Now, all this sounds great in theory. You have to have an institute with the mission to herd all these guys together and make it a reality. So that's where the Del Monte Institute is going to be very exciting.
This Institute initiative will bring together outstanding scientists already recognized for their great work to produce a fast track for scientific discovery into the arena of clinical therapy.
Between the Steve Goldman and his colleagues and myself, Margot Meyer, Purcell, and Chris Purcell, this is one of the centers in the world for understanding the support cells of the nervous system and the stem cells that they come from.
Macon Niedegard is one of the world's leading glial biologists. The glia are the supporting cells for blood vessels, for nerve cells, and for other important components of the central nervous system.
And it's almost certain that within the next decade we would realize that glia cell either causes or contribute to both stroke, epilepsy, and neurodegenerative diseases.
In the laboratory of Dr. Berislav Zlokovic, new therapies for Alzheimer's and for stroke are being developed.
Our focus is how we can get better vascular system in patients with Alzheimer's disease, how we can improve the blood flow, how we can reduce neuroinflammation in the vascular system.
Another area of technology is neuroengineering, and the work of Suzanne Haber with deep brain stimulation to treat obsessive-compulsive disorder is an example. The work of Gary Page in the Department of Neurobiology and Anatomy is another.
This is where the operating room will be transformed, where you have more and more people who are having things put into place with a positive effect on the outcome rather than simply removing something.
Ira Schulzen and Carl Kieberts, in their clinical trials enterprise, offer the potential to introduce new therapies to more patients faster and sooner.
We have been involved in bringing more drugs to market for Parkinson's disease than any place else in the world.
In the laboratory of Charles Thornton, there's the promise for cutting-edge therapies that can take what is essentially a disabling disease and restore those patients to normal function.
Now that I've come to believe that there is going to be a treatment for the disease, any delay in getting that treatment for our patients just becomes unacceptable.
When we treat a patient with a stroke, how do we measure the performance of the brain after the treatment, and how do we take that brain and teach it to regenerate its function?
What we would like to figure out how to do is to stimulate the brain to recover, to show plasticity of the kind that you see in very young children.
It is my hope that the Del Monte Institute will galvanize neuromedical clinical care programs throughout the community and the region. This kind of collaboration is desperately needed in the current environment in healthcare.
That's why I think Rochester has the opportunity to really be a leader in neuromedicine with the Del Monte Institute spearheading it.
Having those people together, but putting a human face on it so people can see the real world impact of disease, it's very, very powerful.
When I speak to other individuals in Rochester, I'm so often impressed how many have families which have suffered with terrible illnesses and how passionate they are about making a difference in people's lives. Ernie is showing them the way.
Ernie is a very special person. He was born and raised in Rochester. He joined the Army Air Corps right out of high school. He became a pilot, and he was part of that World War II generation that was entrepreneurial, that was visionary, passionate, always building, always moving forward. And the same passion, the same vision, I think, is what got Ernie excited about neuromedicine, because he saw, again, another opportunity for great success. He saw the opportunity to bring talented people together, and he wanted to be a part of it.
We are incredibly grateful to Ernie and Thelma Del Monte for having the insight that their funds will contribute enormously to our work and to human health.
I want to thank Thelma, who's played a very important part in my life. Without her, I couldn't have done it.
I think this institute gives us the opportunity to truly change the outcome in patients, to change how healthcare is delivered for brain diseases.
That means that we're moving from the promise of someday to the promise of soon.
I can't imagine a finer opportunity for an individual who's achieved the success that Ernie has than knowing that you are going to fund and inspire research that can transform the lives of millions of individuals, not only alive today, but to live in the decades and centuries to come.